speak up, I can't hear you back here.
Just what I said, I could not talk today.
Well, if you can't talk, you don't need to be there, or get a microphone or something.
I will, I'll get somebody to take you out of here.
I'm not taking you out, you can't be chairman of the board here.
Sir, there's seats in the front you can sit in. You can hear better.
I can't even hear very well right here. Is that, can the microphone be moved over or something?
I don't have one.
That's not what that is right there?
It's just
Or is that
that's just recording.
I guess them to see. Come on.
No problem.
Hey, so how y'all doing? Good. Sorry, Alan.
Here, we do the meeting, the light meeting.
I motion that we postpone the minutes until my next meeting. We have more time to look them over.
The agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Like they had one thing, they like to say, finance report to the person. Ask for a vote on the agenda. All in favor? To the change? Raise your hand, please. Put Becky first, and she's next anyhow. Go ahead, Ms. Carter.
Okay. I read the finance report for the Travel and Tourism Authority through March 31st, and Mr. Williams, I did get the bank statements in this morning, so we're able to give you a full report. Our reconciled balance in the bank at March 31st in the general account for the Travel and Tourism Authority was $164,487.16. I always bring it up to the current date. We just deposited $1,620.88 this morning. We do need to transfer salaries and benefits out of the checking account back into the Graham County General Fund. We do a reimbursement $37.39.50. Going to be transferred $128.56 to the capital reserve fund and have about $507 in bills to pay. So our available cash as of today is $161,733.15. This time last year we had $89,877, so we are building in our cash reserves. And if you look at the bottom of the page above the yellow highlighted item, our total collections to date for occupancy taxes for this fiscal year is $121,450. This time last year we had collected $115,188, so we do have a positive variance. We had a little bit better winter than we had in the past. So we're ahead $6,262 in collections for the year. Our capital reserve fund stands at $28,055. And if you flip to the next page, you can just basically see a breakdown of where our revenues and expenditures are covered. We did have an operating surplus as of the end of March of $35,062. March, we operated at a loss. That's not unexpected. And then our next page is our budget. We are well within our budget. We budgeted $147,500 in expenditures for the year so far. projects that you hope to work toward. And you'll have probably about $160,000 in fund balance available. And I'm hoping and projecting that our collections are going to be right at $190,000. So our TDA has really grown over the past couple of years, and we really thank our accommodation partners for being so faithful in remitting and collecting their taxes. One thing that I see coming up, and I'm trying to be more proactive, I'm sure that as we get closer and closer to the Heritage Festival and 4th of July celebration, your board budgeted for $5,000 to be expended toward the Heritage Festival and $5,000 for fireworks, and I'm guessing that the festival will soon be asking for that appropriation. And if it's pleasing to the board, I'd like to go ahead and get approval for those two items so that when we get the letter from the Heritage Festival, that we'll be able to go ahead and make that remittance.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Good. Okay, that way I can go ahead and take care of that when that bill comes in. Is there any questions from the board or the audience of the finance report? Okay, I'll be quiet.
Thank you, Becky.
Thank you, Becky.
I do have another meeting to attend, so I'm probably going to dash out if that's okay.
Motion to call in Ron from Nancy Johnson.
Where do you want me to go?
Probably come up here, Nancy, probably can hear it. Somebody else,
My name is Nancy Johnson, owner of Tail the Dragon, and my husband Ron and I have the Two Tops Vacation Rentals as well. We're a little bit concerned about this property purchase that you all are considering, and we hope that you will make that more public with your plans and let us know what you plan on doing. We're concerned about the price that you're paying, and perhaps you can allow us to have some input before you make that final decision. I'm also concerned about the loss of Tabitha. We have a website now that is out of date that needs help. The event calendar is lacking. There are currently winter images on the front page. We do have some accommodation partners that are not listed. We also have a number of accommodations that aren't paying their part of the roll or whatever you want to call it. I ask that the board consider working with Mary Ann Baker more to promote her, have her promote the county marketing purposes.
That's been our plan. Yeah.
Can we hear the reasons for the release of
If
that?
please, sir, this is my time. If you want to have public comment,
I was asking a question to you.
this is my time. Mary Ann and I have discussed the possibilities of working together and promoting the website of the county.
That sounds great.
And I would be glad to work with Mary Ann. We can get things done very quickly. But if we wait till next month, it's going to be the first part of May. So this is something that needs to be acted on fairly quickly. Of course, we'll need a budget. She is your primary contact. I don't think she's here. She had prior commitments today. But she is your marketing expert and probably knows more about travel and tourism marketing than anybody that I know personally. And she's an excellent person to use, and I would love to work with her. I can learn tons from her as well.
I'd say we already talked to Mary Ann previously, about working with you guys more, and she said she's up to the challenge. She's ready when we are, so.
Okay. Well, if you need anything from me, I'd be glad to help out.
Thank you so much.
What do you think? The budget, please.
Well, that would be something that Mary Ann and I would have to sit down and discuss, and to give you guys some good numbers for the remainder of this year and also for next year as well. We had spoke about it previously, I think, in a closed session about things that we could do.
Yep.
And this is public, this is out there, and we're glad to help.
Good. Thank you so much.
That's all I have. Would
Thank
it be possible for
Can you
us?
answer my question now, ma'am?
Would it be possible for us to arrange a meeting between us and you and Mary Ann and
Yes.
sit down and talk about what we would like to
Yes.
see and what y'all can do?
And I would suggest getting that accomplished very quickly.
Yes, okay.
We'll try it next week, maybe.
Yeah.
One day next week. you can
That's,
make that.
I'm available next week, so.
So
We'll get with Mary Ann and see what
Yeah,
else
she
she
probably
can
has a little bit busier schedule.
We'll
That's
try to
fine.
schedule that for next week.
And let's get that done.
Okay.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Is the board going to tell us why Tamara was fired?
Sir, we're on with the agenda. If you do not be quiet,
I'm asking a question.
I'll ask you to leave if you don't be quiet.
Are you the chairman of this group?
I am.
Then how can you answer a question?
No, I cannot because
Why?
it's personnel.
Why?
Because it is personnel and it is not public record at the time.
Okay, you run Graham County for 24 years, been beat for 24 years, and I'm not going to hear you before you're correct.
I apologize, people. Because we out in the restaurant the other day for no reason. And, I apologize.
I'm Layla Warner with Riverside Street Houses, and really, my questions were the same as that Nancy expressed. A little concern about the price and the land purchases for the new visitor center. I think everybody agrees we need a visitor center. I think everybody agrees that we need an attractive tourism office in a good location, which we certainly don't have at this moment in time. But I do have some concerns about the price and the location. If they don't necessarily, we'd just like a little more information about it.
I'm the chairman of the building committee, and that's kind of overseeing this. What we've decided to do is pay $30,000, which is was it 30 or 25? It's 30, I believe.
30.
For the property from Shelley Godfrey Orr that adjoins some county-owned property just across from the Mike Hotel.
Right? You
That
said 25,000.
we offered 25,000, and her and her family would come back and would only take 30.
And it's, am I correct in knowledge that it's 0.13 of an acre?
Something like that, but the tax card value on it is around 30,000. But the tax card, the value of it is around 30,000.
Plus it adjoins county property, which the county is going to donate to us, so it makes it bigger.
25,000 for a tenth of an acre.
That's
Have you
what it's
priced
valued
property in the
at,
middle of
Where
town?
it is,
Well, it's like, yeah.
right in the middle of town.
Okay, that just seems like a,
Okay, well, and here's what our plan is. Here's what we'd like to do. The portion of the property that the county is willing to donate to travel and tourism is where the old railroad went through. And if you look at it, you can still see the raised portion where the railroad bed was. What we would like to do is find an old rail car, and this was John Powell's idea, and we think it would be great because we have such a strong history of railroad use in this county from the logging from 150 years ago. Get a rail car and let that be our visitor center. And we think that we'd be able to possibly pursue some grants for preservation because that would be tying back to our history, that would help with this. But if you heard Becky and you looked at our financial report, you would see that we have more than enough money in our budget now to pay cash for that property. And we would own it free and clear and would not have to borrow any money that we would have to borrow on any other piece of property that has been brought to our attention. So that's another thing, is that we can buy outright now and own it free and clear.
And the rail car's a neat little attraction for people too. They love the ambiance of it. It's just something neat for people to see, photo ops, stuff like that. And it does bring more of our history to it. Plus we won't be having rent payments, things of that nature and stuff because we can buy it and pay for it. so.
Is it going to be big enough to have bathrooms and things that?
Well, what we would like to do is have facilities that would be available to our visitors 24 hours a day. As a contractor, we have put in several of these bathrooms for the Forest Service that are all just one concrete thing. Possibly look into some of those. You can get those that are electrified and do have water, and we have all the utilities there, and the town is willing to work with us on any of that stuff. We've already got an agreement with them to work with us on that. So what we'd like to do is put up a bathroom facility like that would be available to our visitors 24 hours a day. And that way we'd have outdoor kiosks that would have all the pamphlets for all of you accommodation partners and any other attractions in the county available, so that we wouldn't have to have this thing manned 24 hours a day, but it would still be there to give our visitors information and whatever else they might need as they're passing through.
And the property that the county already owns is a little over half an acre?
Something like that. There will be plenty of room for the Godfrey property will provide the necessary parking. Now, there has been a concern about large motorhomes and things like that, but the microtel parking lot is large enough to accommodate those just across the
So
street.
we'll end up with close to an acre in the middle of town for like $30,000. And there's nowhere else. I mean, it's a good deal.
This
It
piece of
is.
property just across the street from us here, Randy Jordan wants $100,000. And we don't have that. We've got enough money right now, free and clear, to buy that piece of property for $30,000. And it's the ideal piece because the county has already voted to give travel and tourism that section next to it, which the old railroad bed's there, and it all will just tie together.
You also have to look at the cost of improving too. I mean, you've got landscaping, you've got decks, you've got, all the power that's going to be required. So there's a lot more expense than just the $25,000, $30,000 for the lot. You've got other considerations. So, being physically responsible is the first thing of this, this board, because, we've run pretty lean in the past with regard to the revenues that have been coming in. And I don't see that we should spend more than is necessary to accomplish, the visitors that we get. And, I think we can take care of it with a rail car and, somebody to answer some questions and direct people. So let's don't get too carried away, with spending more money than we necessarily should.
I'm not going to be redundant about the same property. The railroad right-of-way was given on the basis to the county, on the basis of the use of public good. I'm sure this is public use, it has to be public use. I would think this would fall into that. I don't know if you need to do anything to formalize that or not, but that's what the deeds require. If it's not used for public purposes, it has to be given back to the grantor. Assume you've got that taken care of. If not, maybe your attorney may need to look at that and maybe something.
No, it's obviously a public thing, yeah, it's open to the public, so it's a public use thing. Yep.
Well, the reason I brought it up because there was some confusion in the town about right-of-way property and whether individual adjacent property owners could grab it, okay?
Yeah.
In terms of public good, it's not a problem. I have two other items. One is potential traffic. Right now, it's almost impossible to get out of 4th Street turning north on the bypass best of times. Because even if the light's red for traffic coming down Tallulah, traffic on Main Street is swinging down. It's very, very dangerous. So I'm hoping if someone's done some kind of study there as to how you can handle traffic in and out of there while allowing present traffic there. So it's a very, very difficult situation. I don't know if you need another light there or what, but it's a very difficult situation. The last item I have, I don't know how many of you have looked at this property, but it's adjacent to just about the most dilapidated, run-down, ugly place there is in town. Now, I'm hoping that you can please do something to hide that, otherwise you're going to get visitors. Just the worst possible impression. It's bad enough when we look up on the back of town and we see all the empty buildings there, it looks like ghost town. But now you're bringing visitors into an area now, and those properties are terrible. I'm sure the folks do the best they can. So if I were a visitor coming in and I saw that, I think I'd probably just continue driving along past. I don't know what you can do about that, but I think you have to do something. I don't know if all these things have been considered. If they have, I'd love to
address, I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Some kind of fence or something other, we need to come,
Traffic
some
is
kind of,
a
yeah.
real issue now. I
Right.
appreciate what we're saying, big vehicles can park in there, but then they come down there, you're gonna be confused. Unless you got a sign that says, big RVs park on like Deadpool was. They're gonna try to pull through there, and that's traffic coming down the street, down to it's very, very difficult right now. I can see a problem with it.
That's very good. All three of the points are very good. And we will consider all.
Will there be any feedback before the final decision is made, or?
Oh, yeah, we're not,
We're still getting the property surveyed to get the two
to
plots
see what
together.
it's gonna be.
That's what I strongly recommend, a comprehensive look at it. I understand you want to get out of, I have no problem with this travel and tourism building all the way out of the county. I'm fine with that. It's just, just because it's available and cheap, the long-term costs may make that less of a bother.
This is a part of the improvements part of it where you could put in some lelands and things that would help somewhat put a barrier between the travel tourism office and the rest of that property back there. But again, if you...
That road too, right? Is that road going to be part of the access to the travel tourism? What's the name of that road that runs around back there?
I think it's Godfrey Street.
Godfrey Street.
Yeah.
Godfrey Street.
Yeah,
You can only close that off.
yeah, there's just,
So you're
you're opening up a subject that,
all those buildings down there,
you know,
all those buildings are back on the Godfrey Street. Either way, just the most dilapidated around national.
well, this county's got a lot of that going on. So we have, that's a subject to be
Yeah,
addressed by a whole
that's a
nother.
whole nother, yeah,
I don't think that's necessarily an excuse, but that's it. I'm thinking now.
In a perfect world, you wouldn't
Yeah.
be where you want to be. You wouldn't be there.
They're going to keep going, and if they see that kind of stuff, they might well keep going. Thank you.
Yeah.
thank you.
Appreciate your input. Go ahead.
From a train, is it going to be handicap accessible?
Yes.
Oh,
ma'am.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Any public building has to be handicap accessible.
And
88.
then we don't have any train here in town. Do we then say, if you want to go for a train ride?
No, it's just a neat part of our history.
I can see,
Now, we have this, anybody else have anything?
Ron Johnson with the Tree Tops. I just have one question. Why do you need that tiny piece when you can use that whole half acre for?
There's not enough
We'll,
parking.
we'll use the whole piece thing, you know, we need the extra parking and stuff like that, just in case. It's not that busy now, but maybe one day if it got busier, we'd have the room for parking if we needed. You know, we'd rather have more than enough, you know. We'd rather have too much than not enough. You know. We learned that at the hotel.
That's my only question.
Yeah.
And now you have to imagine, Ron, it runs kind of a rectangle straight back to the creek. And United Community has told us we can't use any of those. They have the extra parking and they have the grassy area also. And we can't use any of that, so that's why we're going the other way.
I understand. Thank you.
Lisa?
Thank you. I'm not a member, I'm not a lodging partner, I don't have any interest in, the property or anything, but my comments are more for just a personal. For 5 years I've been attending TNT meetings before I ever started videotaping, since Sherry Brantley was director, when the meetings were held in the EMS building, and Billy Ditmore was previously on the board. So I'm not a member, like I said, and I don't have anything to say about internal matters, but not only because of the incident yesterday of Ms. Myler's termination, but as a family that heavily depends on tourism money, it has stirred me to speak out as a citizen here in the meeting. This comment is not in defense of Ms. Myler personally, other than to say that Ms. Brantley left her position in the same manner, thinking she was doing a good job, trying to do good for the community by giving it her heart, and in the end being dismissed as a mere hostess. I also realize the termination of Ms. Myler is a personnel matter, and the board will hide behind that cloak, so I will not focus on that. After all, it is an at-will appointment to state, and you can fire anyone for any reason, just because you don't like them. However, as a long-term observer of these meetings, I have for some time held the opinion that the director, whether it be Myler or Brantley, has been used as a scapegoat for an inefficient and unproductive board. videos I have posted, over 200 of them, the TNT videos have received the highest number of views, mainly due to the behavior that takes place. I see rude behavior repeatedly. For years, I've watched the director be demeaned, ignored, interrupted, negated. You have told her to do things, then complained about those things. You have not listened to the meetings and then broken bad when she asked you for a decision. You have asked her to get permission for every cent she spends so you can make the decision as to whether it is a worthwhile expenditure, yet you don't read her emails. And I can say that just one incident, because at the last meeting she was telling me about a video, and you asked how you could get that link, and Ms. Myler's response was, she emailed it to you. I don't know how she's supposed to get permission on every little thing she does when you don't respond to her. This is not the first time I've heard board members ask questions that I knew the answers to simply because I actually attended the meetings and listened. Much of this listening to the director, much of this not listening, to the director happens because during the meetings, several board members will decide it is not rude to speak over someone else. Just at the last meeting, there were 2 or 3 of you having a side conversation while your guest, Mr. Weir, was speaking, and that was just one incident out of several from that one meeting. I witnessed these side conversations constantly. I used to watch Mr. Ditmore interrupt and run over Ms. Bragg 5 years ago, as I watched him do the same thing to Ms. Myler last month.
Can we please not get personal
I
attacks?
am almost done. I have watched a woman's career go from being hired as a tourism director to devoted as a church hostess. I have watched different people come on board only to be thrown to the wolves and not be appointed. I have heard firsthand from a member of this board that they would never nominate someone that was not able again. That attitude alone is discriminating from weakness and ignorant. I get asked often why this or that doesn't happen when it comes to tourism, and all I can say is attend a board meeting, and you can see why we can't move forward. This board is all about tourism, and what I heard at the last meeting says it all. The money should be spent in Graham County. You have stopped spending money on advertising, on marketing, on trade shows. You question sending your director to PR meetings. To question why your tourism director needs to attend a Visit NC conference shows you don't understand the business of tourism and PR. When I listen to this board, I hear a group of people that cannot stand anyone making any decisions without their authority and permission. That's called micromanaging, which is damaging any business and no self-directed, hardworking person can work in those circumstances. I ask, what are you going to do now? Are you going to hire another director or do away with the director's position and only hire a hostess, which is what you have obviously wanted for a long time now. It's been very obvious for anyone who sees meetings. Which one of you is going to take over with all of Myler's projects? Just last meeting, and I'm sorry, but a volunteer already said she couldn't volunteer because she worked. I think all of you have jobs that take a lot of your time. Who is going to run TNT board? To conclude, I just think that this county is in a really bad way, with no economic development planner, no recreation director now, and now no tourism director. What's up, Graham County? I thought we were supposed to be moving forward. Thank you.
times.
The social media report, I thought, it says here that Mary Ann was supposed to be here, but I don't know, she's had conflict.
Yeah, I believe she had another thing, maybe run late or something, so it's going to be.
She's given us these sheets and kind of tell what the increases are and that sort of thing. What I would like to see, Nancy, is, and this is just my personal opinion and something that we discuss with Ryan, is something every month. So, and that would be part of what we'd like to discuss with you and Mary Ann, is to make sure that first of all, the website gets updated. And we have something, even if it's just to highlight one of the accommodation partners or something each month or each week to make sure that website and our social media outreach is continuously changing so that people see that we are here and that we want them to come visit. So, Tabitha usually read off the director's report. We've got that that we can look over, just discuss. So you want to move on to the old new business?
Yeah, the round. Go ahead, you're done.
For instance, this month, the last Sunday in April will be the Ramp Festival. And that's something that Grant County has done for 25, 26 years. Last meeting, benefits the rescue squad. Last meeting, I suggested that we get behind the rescue squad, make it a weekend-long event. I've worked with Savanac, and they've come up with this: ramp up your weekend. The town is going to do a singing or music on the Square on Friday night as our opening event. Billy will be coordinating a poker run from the Mike Hotel on Saturday, and then Sunday will be the finale with the Rescue Squad's Ramp Festival. We'll ask businesses around for donations. We'll sell chances on those at the dance. All the entry fees for the poker run will go to the Rescue Squad. So we hope that all this will benefit the Rescue Squad and give them more money. I'd like for us to possibly talk about doing something like that for the month of May, Memorial Weekend being usually our opener weekend. Something, even if it's just to put together swag bags for you accommodation partners to give your people that are coming in. Just something, just to let our people know we're glad they're coming. And what I'd like to talk to the board about is getting a banner made. We want this to be our brand look for this particular event, and this will be what we will flood social media with. But I'd also like us to put a banner up so that our locals will know, and those who don't maybe go on
How
social
much
media.
did you say the banner would cost?
We feel like we need a 3 by 6 foot for all this. It's $72 plus tax.
I move that we pay sandbag canvas and signs the amount to make the banner.
Okay.
Your second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Any opposed? All right, I think Billy opposed that.
No.
All right. And do y'all have any suggestions for anything in May? Do you have any ideas what we might do, or do you want to do anything, or do you want to just let Memorial Day? Are y'all pretty much seeing booked up already?
It's pretty busy for us now.
Okay.
We're slow.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
slow?
Yeah.
Okay. What about some of your accommodation partners? Are y'all booked up?
We are starting off the music on the Square, is that weekend, it's usually on Friday nights, but we moved it to Saturday night, and Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
It'll be from 8 to 11 that night.
Good.
And the feature band is Solo Creek.
Okay. Oh, that's another thing. Since we decided not to do the Madden Media, we have that extra $5,000. Would the board be willing to pay the $500 for the band for the Ramp Festival for that Friday night? The town's going to set up all their stands and chairs and all that, and tear that all down, take care of it. But would the board be willing to pay the $500 for that?
I move we give it 500.
Yeah, I second that.
Okay.
Your second.
Craig.
All in favor?
Alright. How about you, Barry? Are you already booked for May? Good. Well, yeah. What do y'all think about this? Do you feel like if we have more activities and more events going on, that it would bring more people in? Do y'all have?
I feel like in the winter time, is when we need something, because right now our spring, summer, and falls are pretty good, but our winter times are so dead. I know a lot of people close totally in the winter, but those of us that do stay open, I'm sure Mr. Turner here's learned about winter time. He went through his first one. It's really slow in the winter, and if we could maybe have some more things, you know, cultural things. I think our Ramp Festival's a great event that's been going forever and something that can really grow. But just some more neat things about history, heritage, maybe more of that type of tourism maybe in the winter, even if we did in a month, it would help. So.
And we appreciate any of your all's input.
Just random ideas. You never know what's going to be a good idea. So that's exciting.
Go ahead.
I noticed several other counties actually have the Ramp Festival and publicizing it. And we used to do the website for the EMT, and they didn't want to publicize the Ramp Fest. They said we didn't do big. But I think it would be a big draw for us. And if you're going to have it pretty soon, we need to get information out there so people know about it.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, it's pretty late notice right now for something to happen in a couple weeks.
Yeah, well, and again, that was something we discussed last meeting and trying to pull it all together.
The more things that we have like this, the better off we are.
Right.
Thank you, Ron.
One thing that Connie and I had talked about, she works with the veterans, doesn't she? She wants to get a huge flag and put it up on the hilltop next to the health department. So if we could get that all pulled together, and of course our objective is to put heads and beds, possibly do something for Veterans Weekend and do that flag unveiling. I like to run, Nancy's a runner.
Some of our best groups are veterans groups.
Yeah, do some kind of activity like that for that weekend, possibly, but again, that's November. It's like Billy says, the summers are pretty full, and, you know, there are some things, but yes, ma'am.
You had a large ultra running event at Fontana this winter. It was an extreme adventure run. They had a 50K. Are you from Fontana?
Yeah, most
Okay,
days.
so you know what I'm talking about.
This is great, by the way. You might
Yeah, it's Greg.
Greg,
You look different.
I don't know if that's good or bad. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Greg Corbell, and I'm the general manager at Fontana Village. And I am an outsider. So I'm not here to, combat everything about this board, but clearly we put members that aren't born and raised in this county on this board.
There was some bad information spread today.
Please don't believe everything you hear.
Remember.
This is a public. These are public every month, and it's a shame that people have to come here on something that unfortunate that happened to finally see some turnout, which I think is great because we're here every month sitting here, and I've been on this board since December, so I'm fairly new. I might have seen one or two people sit out here in 4 or 5 months. So we're here, we're not trying to hide anything, and we're listening to opinions. But if there's no opinions, we're going to make decisions on this board that we feel fit for this county. Not every decision is going to be proper, and I don't make proper decisions every day of my life either. But we'll correct them if they're not, and know that we're in the best interest of this county. So, but back to the run, sorry. We had it was...
That's a huge event, and I've been in that running community for a long time, but that was a big event.
It was the first time we've held it. There was only 30 participants, and we're looking to grow that every year.
And we have a big mountain bike race in the wintertime.
The icicle race, we do it 2 races a year.
And those folks over at the National Foot RX or whatever it is, but anyway, please, RX, I believe it is. But I'm sure that they would like to do a few more events over here.
It's a market that we're trying to go after just because of where we sit logistically and all the work that's been done on our trails with grants. Our trails are phenomenal now with all the work that's been done this winter.
But as an outdoor person, that's the type of things that we're looking for that time of year, and there's not a whole lot.
There are untapped markets out there that everybody hasn't tapped into yet.
You could do multi-day events too.
Absolutely.
Like that.
That's what we'd like to do multi-day, and then that to stay in y'all's places and eat in our restaurants. Well, now, speaking of you people, this is Robin Turner,
Yeah.
owner of Topeka. He's our newest board member. Glad to have him here.
And I'm an outsider.
And I'm John Pell from the Iron Horse, and I'm an outsider, so.
I can tell you exactly who told me that.
Look, it's not about that. It's just what's true is true.
Tabitha?
I'd also like to, some of the shoulder season things that I was looking into prior to being let go, that I hope the board will continue to go forward with. I know one thing that Greg and Robin even talked about was the universities that have the rowing programs and trying to get Brookfield to build some sort of a skull cabin along Calderwood and Shiona Lake so that we can fill some of those shoulder seasons with some of the universities. I've been collecting some names of people to kind of get in touch with to see if we can make some of that become a reality. Another thing that we recently found out because of the solar eclipse that's coming up August 22nd of 2017, some of our accommodation partners have already let us know that they're already booked. I kind of reported that to the board in the past couple of months. We are, if you look up darkskyfinder.com, we are a dark sky location. Pretty much almost 90% of our county is a dark sky location. I would encourage another shoulder wintertime season thing to do, to get more of the cabins and the accommodation partners that stay open year round to get telescopes, and maybe we could even have speakers come in from local universities, because this being a dark sky, this is an activity that can happen in shoulder season. The big thing with the solar eclipse, people will come from other countries. We will probably be booked up, and they say not to gouge tourists, but to try and increase your rates about 15 to 20%, trying to do the double thing. But I think that is a very huge event. I did reach out to a lady to see if she could probably get us some speakers and maybe have some nightly speaking engagements and a nice event up on the Cherahela Skyway along Huckleberry Knob and that parking lot and some things. So those are some ideas that we've been collecting, some databases of people to email some things out to. Kathy also worked really hard on getting some kayak. I gave her some instructions. She did a good job of looking at some kayak different clubs, as well as some birding type clubs that we were in hopes of being able to, whenever we made those kind of posts, to pitch those kind of emails out to those groups to see if we can get more group traffic in those two different types of niche vacation marketing.
Anything else?
Anybody? I don't want nobody to go away without saying what they want to.
Our next meeting will be May 12th, and we would love to see all of y'all back here. Because like Greg said, if we don't get input from you guys, it's up to the 7 of us to try to figure out what to do. And we're going to try some things. If they don't work, we're going to drop that and try something else for next month. So we need y'all's input. We're taking your money, so you have a right to speak. So May 12th, 3 o'clock here. I think we're going to be going into closed session now.
Oh.
Yes, Brian?
Also, that during that regular weekend that y'all have planned, and we also have the kids fishing day at Jordan on the 23rd.
That's how I understand it.
That is out on stand. And then, but the event just got planned, it's not going to be entering anymore, so.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I just came, I took Tommy's place the last meeting. And, they will be ordered. They will with no bickering back and forth. And we'll get something accomplished. And we don't need people talking when other people's talking. This gentleman has left, he's, I don't know. He, talked to me the other day, like a dog went down in one of the restrooms. And I've never seen him but one time before that. And, so, I appreciate George's order.